Hey, HVG team, I just wanted to make sure you were going to kick this off, or should we just start right away?
Hello, yes, we started speech.
Great. Julia, we'll kick it over to you.
Okay, so then I guess we are ready to start. Hi and welcome all to this session. I hope you can hear me well. So we are Diligent, a dynamically growing global tech company and surely one of the fastest growing tech companies in Hungary. We are building our new Center of Global Product Innovation in Budapest, building up a workforce of approximately 300 employees across a variety of product and technology functions. I'm super excited for joining Diligent as Senior Vice President of Engineering to build and lead the Budapest Product Innovation Center and the software development organization globally. So I hope you will enjoy this session. Lauren, Director of Product Management, explaining you what Diligent does, and also our exciting Budapest plans. And we are available for your questions. Reach out to us during the job fair or anytime after that for any more information you would like to know about Diligent. And now it's on to you, Lauren.
Great, thank you, Julia. Sziasztok. I'm learning a little bit of Hungarian because I'm very excited to be working with Julia and growing the Diligent company in Budapest. I will share a little bit about Diligent and who we are, and hopefully you should see my screen okay. So really excited to be presenting and sharing with you what Diligent does, how we've grown, and what the opportunities are for you in Budapest to hopefully join our team and help us build and power the world's leading companies. So what I'm going to talk through is just what we'll talk through today. So who we are and what is modern governance, because it's maybe a term not everyone is familiar with. How we are transforming and building software to support companies and provide them with modern governance solutions. And then why we're building an operation in Budapest and why we're hoping to expand to, as Julia said, 300 folks, and then why you might want to work for Diligent. So hopefully this helps answer any questions you have, but if you do have questions, please put them in the chat. So first, what is modern governance? Because it's a term that everyone may not be familiar with. So before we actually talk about what modern governance is, I want to talk about why it's important. What we have found is that companies who have very strong corporate governance perform much better than companies without strong governance. So you can see here in the US, in the S&P 500 index, companies with strong governance processes and practices are performing better than those who don't have them. So that's one reason to do it. But what is governance? So it's the evolution of board and leadership practices to make sure that companies have financial integrity, there's investor confidence, and that the companies are sort of engaging their stakeholders and providing sustainable performance. All of this is critical for companies, but it needs to be powered by the right technology to make sure it's effective and efficient. So really modern governance is making sure that companies behave in a way that protects shareholder values and is sustainable and great for all stakeholders. So what that means, right? So today our business leaders are bombarded with lots of information. All of us are too, right? We're being asked to do more with less. We have more to do, but we might have inefficient processes. We might have a lack of resources. We may not be able to fund all the projects that need to be done to make sure our businesses and our companies are operating well. Executives especially, think about our C-suite and our board leaders, may not have access to the right information at the right time due to complex data silos, a lack of visibility, a lack of even realizing that they need to have access to certain data. So if you think about it, they've got almost blinders on. They can't see everything that might be going on with the business. Also, if you have siloed data or a lack of data access, it's going to make cross-functional collaboration at a company difficult, if not impossible, right? If you don't have visibility into key metrics or key data, you're not going to be as effective at your job. And therefore, you're not going to probably be stewarding your company to the same level of success that you would be if you had access to that information. And then again, without having access to information, you may be funding the wrong projects, or you may be sort of prioritizing work that may not be as impactful as something that you don't have visibility into. So really that visibility is really key in having access to the right level of data. And there's also an increased risk, right? If you don't have insight into what's going on at your company, you may not realize that you're falling outside of regulations. You may not be compliant with certain regulations. I know that the regulatory environment in the US and in the UK and in the EU is changing constantly. So it's making sure that as a leader of a company, you have visibility into all of those different regulations and that you are compliant with them. And if you're not compliant, that you understand that and know what's necessary to become compliant. All of this is sort of all happening simultaneously, and it can be overwhelming. And that's where technology is really critical to making sure that you're sort of staying on top of everything and being an effective business leader and an effective steward of your company. Here's a few business challenges that we hear quite a bit when we talk to customers, right? So the tech stack is complex, making it really difficult to bubble up information to the executives, right? When you're feeding information to your CEO or your board of directors, they want sort of high level but actionable data. It can be very difficult to get that to them. If data is siloed, it's hard for, say, the finance team to collaborate effectively with, say, the marketing team. So you want to make sure you've got data that's accessible by all teams. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are not compliant with certain regulations, you might be subject to fines, which is going to result in a loss of revenue. Also, data can help inform where there might be market opportunity or investment opportunities to take advantage of. If you don't take advantage of it, you might also lose some revenue. Again, you might have to be paying consultants or sort of incurring additional expense in order to become better stewards of your company or of managing to compliance and to risk. So these are just a few things that we hear from our customers fairly often, right? So all of this leads to a great opportunity for us to solve these challenges and for Diligent to really become leaders in saying, we hear you, we understand that these are challenges faced by outdated tech, siloed data. How can we help support these business leaders in providing them with the right tools and technology and data to support them? Right? So that's where we get to sort of Diligent and building enterprise software to solve for these various challenges. So I'll tell you a little bit about the history and how Diligent started and how we came to this place and where we are now. So Diligent began as an app focused on board governance, so corporate board books, 20 or so years ago, and really was focused on empowering board leaders. And I'll talk in a minute about how we did that. Over the last 5, 7 or so years ago, we really have focused on becoming more of a suite, not focused on one specific problem, but looking at what are a couple different areas that we can address and solve for in the governance space. So really focused on that board management solution. So how do we provide tools to corporate boards? How do we also provide solutions for governance operations and entities, these big mega companies that have, you know, hundreds of subsidiaries that can be very unwieldy to manage. And most were managing them in an Excel spreadsheet, which it works, but it's not fun for anybody. So how can we bring together and provide a solution for these large entity organizations? And then the third piece, or the third leg of that stool, is really around analytics. So I talked a lot about, you know, surfacing data and making sure leaders have access to the right information at the right time. That's where governance analytics comes in. So that can be surfaced and presented to leaders so they have the right information. So that's really where Diligent has been focused, I would say, on expanding that and solving those problems beyond just the boardroom over the last, you know, 5, 7 years or so. has been a focus. But those were all kind of point solutions, right? So we could provide everything, but they were a little bit siloed themselves. And that's where we come to today, where we're building a platform. And I just realized there's stuff on my screen, I'm sorry. We're building a platform where we're focused on those three pieces, as I mentioned earlier, but how do we make it a holistic solution with intuitive integrations, a consistent look and feel, common technology, really making it sort of one-stop shopping for a company to solve all of their sort of governance needs and challenges. And that's sort of brings us to today. And the evolution. But I want to talk a little bit about how we started, because I think it's a really interesting story. Like most things, I think it started with two people having a drink maybe, and then writing down an idea on a cocktail napkin. So in the year 2000, so just about 20 years ago, Sun America Financial, so a bank in the US, was really irritated with their board books. So these big binders, as you can see here, that board members and their staff would print out, these cumbersome things, and ship out and give out ahead of a board meeting. So board members would need to read through them. It was all very analog and cumbersome. And then the books would, after the meeting, go on a shelf where they gathered dust for years, right? So there's nothing digital about it, no way to search the contents, no way to do really anything with them other than read them and mark them up with a pen. So, but that was the origination of board books, was, okay, let's make these digital. Let's create a digital book. So that way people can have them in a digital format. They will persist. They're not taking up a lot of space. So that was the beginning of Diligent as a web-based board book application. Over time, if I can move forward, I can't, excuse me, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Over time, we evolved. We listened to our customers, we listened to the marketplace, and began to offer more and more solutions originating from that need to make the board more effective and more efficient at leading their company. So as I said, it started with meetings and binders 20 years ago, and then we grew into automation. How do we make it easier for the administrators and the corporate secretaries to put those materials together in an automated way, because that's where the real work takes place, is pulling all the information together for a board meeting. So building automation. As sort of the internet age grew, and as we got more savvy and there was more technology, critically important was then making sure all that data is secure. There is highly confidential information that is included in board books. So it's critical that that information not be able to be leaked or accessed by anyone outside of the board or sort of the group of people that need to have access to that information. So security became really the number one, I would say, value or feature that we were building into Diligent products. So that was number one. It still is. Security is number one for everything that we build. And then really, how do we then help our customers make more informed strategic decisions based on the data? They have access to a lot of information. We have access to a lot of information. How can we surface that information to our customers so it makes it easier for them to make the right decisions for their organizations? And then all of that led to the sort of modern governance solution and sort of a full digital tool set to power companies. So as you can imagine, as we evolved over the last 20 years to this point, we did it by building a lot of products. We did it by acquiring other companies and other products, building different point solutions and gathering data, right? And so that it's great. It allowed us to provide more capabilities, but it also provided us or presented what might be more of a fractured experience to our customers in terms of user experience. Which brings us to today. We have all of these tools, this technology, these products, these solutions, this data at our fingertips. Right now, I think our opportunity and where we're really excited to be is how do we bring this all together in one package to deliver intuitive workflows and deliver an integrated look and feel and surface the right information at the right time to our customers based on their key persona. A board of directors might have very different needs in terms of what data they need and what workflows they are executing in a Diligent product than a general counsel or a corporate secretary or a chief risk officer. So our challenge and our opportunity is to present the right data at the right time to the right user of our system, right? And so that's where it's really exciting. And that's also kind of leading us into why we're growing and why we're building this Budapest location, because we need a lot of really talented people to help us build that true platform solution in order to help people take fast action, make informed decisions, get the right information, as I said, at the right time. So, that's very exciting, and it's sort of where we are today. And it's to be transparent with all of you, it's one of the reasons why I joined Diligent. I've been at the company about 1.5 years, and I'm really excited about being part of companies that are in this transformation phase where they're really scaling and growing quickly and building this platform solution. And it's the reason that I joined Diligent. I think it's a really exciting time to be building this kind of software. So that being said, I know you guys are here to understand more about what we build, how we build it, what the solutions are. So we have a pretty robust tech stack, and I'm on the product management side, so I will speak as best I can to our tech stack, but Yulia might be able to help speak a little bit more to it. But we have lots of various, let me just close this bubble on my screen. We have quite a few different languages and technology solutions that underpin our products. So here's a pretty good listing of everything that we build on. So our suite of products are built on this technology stack. We use multiple programming languages, frameworks, libraries, and tools. So what's really great is if you want to learn a different language or you want to learn a different tool or library system or framework, there's an opportunity to do that at Diligent because we have such a diverse set of tools and languages at our fingertips. Also critical for us is making sure that our application data stacks are highly available and highly secure. I mentioned security earlier. It is, again, the #1 requirement for any product that we build, any technology that we build. It has to be secure. We have a really robust security team. Our CISO is highly involved in our product building and as we think through solutions and new solutions to make sure they're secure. So you'll get a lot of experience building highly secure applications at Diligent with high availability. So that's sort of our programming language. And then from a development operations perspective, here we go. Maybe not. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my mouse. We have a robust DevOps tooling, which allows our sort of site reliability engineers the ability to manage. We have 10 Diligent data centers around the world. So we manage our applications and our customer databases and applications in our own data centers. So we have a very rigorous team that is managing all of that. As mentioned before, sort of observability and reliability are sort of also, in addition to security, key principles of the technology organization here. We can deploy new code and features daily. We have a couple different mechanisms for how we deploy code into production. So, we can share more information about that if you're interested, but these are, again, more of the tools that we use from the development operations perspective. So again, great opportunity to learn and have exposure to all different types of technology solutions within Diligent. So that being said, let me talk a little bit about what we're doing in Budapest and why we're here. So as I mentioned, we are, and as Yulia mentioned, we are growing Diligent by about 300 new folks, our professionals within the Diligent Product Innovation Center. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of really exciting work to do to build that fully integrated platform. And the way that we're going to do that is with really talented folks. So we narrowed it down to Budapest as the location where we wanted to expand. And I'll talk a little bit about why Budapest in a second. You guys probably all know why. It's a great location. But we're looking for product management resources, software engineering, QA, security, data research, technology services, infrastructure, SRE, and production operations roles. So really the full breadth of resources to support developing SaaS solutions. So, and we're hiring, we're onboarding new people weekly across all of those roles. It's super exciting. So really the Budapest location is going to be charged with really developing these new solutions and really leading the product and innovation for the company. And we are going to have our new location in Servita, I probably said it wrong, I'm sorry, Square will be our location in our office for this team. So why Budapest? So there's tons of talent in Budapest. We looked at lots of different locations, and Budapest was sort of clear winner. There's over 220,000 professionals working here. Great education system, so with a high emphasis on sort of IT and technology programs. So that's, centering all the talent. And there's so many other companies that are also based in Budapest building SaaS solutions. So there's just this really great mass of really talented resources. So that's why Budapest was really the logical location for us, and why we're really excited about building this office and this team here. So I'll just end it briefly with sort of why Diligent? Like, why would you want to come to Diligent? Like I said, we're building all these really great solutions. But we're very mission driven. So we're building these governance solutions because we want companies, the leading companies across the globe, to be successful and efficient. Our users of our software are, leading CEOs and board members. Tim Cook of Apple is a user of Diligent products. So it's pretty exciting to know that you're building a solution to make their lives easier and to make them more successful. That's what gets us up every day, is how do we empower these great, global corporate leaders with tools, technology, and data. We are very values-based. We're very passionate about what we do. We're really eager, and we're really focused on being creative and being really smart and achieving as much as we can, as achieving our best for Diligent and for each other. And we're really always focused on doing new and better ways to deliver a product and to deliver solutions to our customers. I would say also we're very customer focused. So we're always talking to our customers and listening to them and thinking about ways that we can innovate and solve new problems and challenges for them. So I think that's what's really exciting from my perspective, is getting up every day and thinking about what we can do better and more and differently to serve our customers. So anyway, that is sort of a little bit about Diligent and what we're doing and why we're really excited to come to Budapest. So I will stop here if there are any questions. And if there are no questions, we can let everyone go a few minutes early.
Hello, thank you for your speech. I don't see any question, and we run out of time, so thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Köszönöm.
Köszönjük mi is.
Thank you, and thank you for participating.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.